sun stays out long enough for us to do everything.
What's going on, y'all? I'm Brand Atlanta Man Bang, coming to you live Atlanta Motor Speedway infield. Got a couple guys here with me. We got Andy, we got David, Fascar. Man, you guys go ahead. Tell them about your podcast.
Yeah, so I'm Andy from Fascar Living. Got my buddy David down here. We've been doing NASCAR races for quite a long time. We got a show every Monday night at 7:30. It's live on TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, basically all the socials. We talk about NASCAR, everything NASCAR related. David, you got anything with it?
Yeah, we do the picks. We talk about everything that we saw during the race, how we felt the race was, kind of like your normal stuff. But then we also do some fun stuff with us and our friends. We got a good friend base that, when you go to a NASCAR race, you become a NASCAR family. And we talk about all that kind of stuff. It's a lot of fun, but we have a great time. When we're live at the track like this one, we go live on Tuesday at 7:30. Gives us one day to kind of recuperate. As you know, it's
it's a rough one. Mondays are always rough from the track.
Yes.
Well, definitely, man. So, like I said, we linked up with them last year. These guys were lucky enough to win that Larson helmet we gave away. We're getting ready to give away the Harvick helmet today at some point in time, fellas. So, who knows? You guys randomly might win that one as well, drawing numbers. But, speaking about the races today, we got the Truck Series and an Xfinity race coming up. So, I'd like to get you guys' feet on that. I mean, I think, after watching Daytona and coming from Daytona to Atlanta, you would like to think it's the same, but it's a totally different style, right?
Yeah,
Atlanta's a unique
absolutely.
track. We all know that.
Yep.
When you get here, it's like, all right, you're sitting there, and I tell you what, man, Chevy looks pretty good in both of them there again.
Sure.
So
Yeah.
I wanted to get you guys' thoughts on it and see what you guys were thinking today.
Yeah, Atlanta's not really it's not a super speedway, but because of the repave, the redesign, it kind of races like a super speedway. So, a lot of people call it restrictor plate track. Obviously, they don't actually do that anymore. But every year it seems to get better and better racing. I don't know how it comes across on the TV, but I know here on the infield, every year we've came, it's just gotten better and better and better.
Yeah.
It's just, I love it. I love the track. It's one of our favorite tracks.
I mean, I've talked about that a couple times on the show. I'm like, man, give this thing another 2 to 3 seasons of, winter and summer, and you're going to have something super unique that's not like any other track out there. It already is, but the racing's going to get way better. Like you said, everyone you go to, it gets better here. So
That's the way I feel about it. With this track being in the South and everything, that Georgia sun, it wears this track out great. I think we're going to see an awesome race this weekend just because, the weather's cooperating for the first time, this time of year for this new redesign. September rolls around, I think it's going to be an amazing race, especially, a playoff race.
Yeah.
It gets hotter, starts to get a little bit more slick. I think, I agree with that 100%. And I really want to see, obviously you got RCR dominating again when it comes to qualifying. And then again, Chevy when it comes to the Truck Series as well. My pick,
Daniel Dye on the pole.
Daniel Dye on the pole. My pick is Eckes still, even with Dye on the pole.
I'm with you 100%. That was my pick yesterday before they even came out. I said I think Eckes gets it done, man. I like him. He's a good driver. The 19 truck when Kraus was in it here, I don't know, that was 3 years ago, I think, 3-4 years ago in the spring. Man, he was fast. He was bad fast. I was like, man, that truck's a pretty good truck. That's good equipment. McAnally, it's pretty good equipment.
Yeah.
A couple good young drivers, Tyler Akram, at Daytona, they put on and showed, what they can do.
Yeah.
And man, I think Eckes definitely gets it done. I'm with you on that one for sure.
I'm interested to see too how Kyle does in a Spire truck, not a KBM truck.
Yeah.
Obviously, probably still the same because it's not been long enough. But I am interested to see how that works out.
Yeah, definitely. It's a double-edged sword, and we talked about this last week on the show on Rubbin and Grubbin. So I want to get your guys' feel on this question as well. Here we were for years, and everybody was kind of like, all right, we're upset with the fact that we go to the Truck Series or Xfinity Series, and it's filled with nothing but stars, right? And you guys might even talk about this, too, at one time, right?
Yeah.
It's filled with nothing but stars, right? Like, we're taking up rides of these young kids trying to come up, make a name for themselves, okay, boom, boom. Well, now we're at a gridlock in the Cup Series, right, in a way. We got a couple guys, Truex, Hamlin. There's some guys in the next 5 to 7 probably gone. Maybe Truex even sooner than that, right?
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is, and then now we don't. Right, and we saw what we saw at Daytona there in the Truck Series. A lot of action, a lot of wrecks, obviously, a lot of mistakes made.
Yeah.
How do you guys feel about that? Like, it's definitely a fine balance, right? You want the names to attract people to come to watch the Truck Series, but you also want to be able to have that equipment, open for these guys that are trying to get out there and get their feet wet and make a name. And I think we, as fans, we judge so much because for years you had Ron Hornaday and Kevin Harvick and Jack Sprague and Kyle Busch and all these guys that were consistent, Cup Series drivers, and even before they were great talent, but they had old school guys that have been there a long time, right? Yeah. Now the Truck Series, you got Matt Crafton and you got a couple other ones. And then other than that, we're talking like 18, 19, 20-year-old kids, man.
Yeah,
I think we go a little hard on them, right?
I think that's exactly the problem right now with the Craftsman Truck Series. You can call it the Craftsman Truck Series because you have so many guys out here and girls coming in that, they haven't, I'm not saying they haven't worked their way for it, but they have a lot of money and backing behind them. Correct. And you don't have really the respect. You don't have the elder statesmen, in the sport. You got Matt Crafton, like you're saying. I think Ben Rhodes is kind of transitioning into that. But we need more, older guys like you got Justin Allgaier in the Xfinity Series. Right. Like, somebody steps out of line, Justin's going to be like, hey, that's not how to do it. So we don't have that in the Truck Series. I think if we had some more names, Kyle Busch is this weekend. Hey, I think if you get some continuity going on, it could be a better series.
Yeah, I definitely agree.
It's become unwatchable almost at some point.
Yeah, I mean, it just you just wait until the end because you just go 5-7 laps caution.
It's like another
10 laps
series.
Caution, and you just go.
Yeah, I think they said last year it was like 30% of the laps in the Truck Series were caution laps.
Right,
and that's just insane.
Yeah, it's no fun.
They can't do that. They got to figure out some things with it. I'm interested to see, we talked about this last year with, should the Cup drivers be able to race more or less in the Truck and Xfinity Series? And I'm really torn on it because in one hand, it's, all right, well, these are points for the playoffs for those guys that are going out there. Obviously, they still get points, but they could miss out on that first place finish. Right. I mean, every time Kyle Busch gets in the truck, he's going to be favored to win that.
We know it.
So, today, it'd be interesting to see how it works out. I'm hoping he doesn't win. I know it's weird for me to say that, but I'm hoping he doesn't win just so one of these other guys can get that win.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I'm with you on that. And, I think another thing that when we talk about these young guys coming up through the sport, any sport that we talk about is like you go from racing, top tier equipment, whether it's late models or, whatever kind of dirt track or asphalt you're doing, right? Yeah. And you got the best equipment. You're like, oh, man, I'm great. I'm awesome, right? Yeah. We go from high school football to college football to NFL. Yeah. Same thing here. So I think we got to give them a little bit of a break just to kind of go, all right, man, we're going to make those mistakes, right? Yeah. But yeah, I mean, it's become, like you said, a money game. And unfortunately, I think going back to the Cup drivers in those series, I mean, really, back in the day, 10, 15, 20 years ago, you would race those races for information. You could actually take something from it and put it into the car, the Cup car. Yeah. Whether it be a line or whether it be, hey, this is the field, whatever it may be. Now it's so different, right? It's so different when you get to Cup than anything else. It's like you can race whatever you want. It's not going to transition over.
It's different just from trucks to Xfinity now.
Right.
I mean, trucks is just a spec sport now. Right. You got spec engines. Teams are still building the chassis and whatnot. But there's not a lot of room to move there. Xfinity, you got different engine suppliers, you got different chassis and everything. Xfinity's the exciting one to watch.
Me too, man.
I
love it.
I think Hailie Deegan's got a legit shot, to actually prove something this year.
Yeah, she definitely does, man. I mean, good equipment. I mean, Ford, she's had her time. It's now or never. I mean, there's quite a few guys that are out there that are like that. I mean, it's now or never, and we've seen it the whole time in the sport. You've seen that a million times. It's like guy might have the most talent, ends up in some bad equipment, and you never hear from them. And then you get guys there again that are halfway decent drivers talent-wise and getting good equipment and pop wins off. So
yeah. I mean, it's interesting to see. I mean, with the Hailie Deegan thing, I think she's going to do a lot better just because in Truck Series, everyone, like we were talking earlier, everyone's just out almost to wreck each other, it feels like. But in Xfinity, she did really well in the 2-3 races that she raced in. So I really hope she can do really well this year. I'm not a Hailie Deegan fan, but I'm also not a Hailie Deegan hater.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. I mean, she hasn't done anything to make a lot of folks, I think, reach out and be like, oh, I like her because of this, or I don't like her because of that. Obviously, the father she has, badass, what I mean? I mean, she's not playing no games. She's going to stand up for herself, say what she's got to say, right? Yeah. And I think, obviously, there again with those sponsors and the name, and there again, being a female athlete in that sport, you definitely have a lot more pressure, I think, than the normal average man or guy that comes in, right? If we're a 19-year-old, 20-year-old guy and we come up and we're racing, so-and-so, you wrecked 3-4 weeks ago, no big deal, whatever, right? You get a little coverage out of it. Yeah. She makes a mistake. Next thing you know, that's what you read about for everywhere on social, everywhere on news. It's, Hailie Deegan wrecked at Daytona, this, that,
and she's got to figure out how not to be in the wrong spot.
Yeah,
because when you watched it last year, not every wreck was her fault.
No.
But she just always was in the part of the field where the problems came.
Yeah.
And same thing like last weekend at Daytona.
Right.
Same thing happened.
Yeah,
Like
yeah, it
she was
wasn't her
just minding
fault.
business at the back,
Yeah.
and like at the
Yeah.
last second, Suarez came
Yeah.
right up the track. Like she couldn't avoid that.
No, and that's that's the bad part about it is there again you get judged on it because of finishes and different things. Then you go, okay, well this is a little bit different, right? But yeah, well, hey, again, thank you guys for coming on, man. I really appreciate you. Definitely make sure you go check these guys out. I tune in from time to time and watch at the house. Really good show, really good interactive to feedback, bouncing back with them, man. So make sure you check them out. It's Fascar Living. Follow them, subscribe to their stuff, man. Hey, you guys enjoy the day. We're getting ready to go get after some racing, some cold beer, man. We'll see y'all later.
All right, guys.
Appreciate
Thank
it,
y'all.
Brandon. Appreciate it, guys.
Man, you know it, brother. I appreciate
See
you
ya.
guys.
Thank you.
And we'll be down. If you guys want to come hang out, shoot the shit later on, whenever, man, we'll be down.
Sounds
We
good.
got a big old group coming today.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
I mean, swing by if y'all want to.
Okay, definitely,
Yep.
man. We might pop by and
Yeah.
say what's up and hang out for a minute.
Yeah. Cool.
Great job, guys.